It is a great honor and a privilege to introduce Sylvain Brachfeld. We're here in your beautiful home in Herzliya. And Sylvain, you were born just before the outbreak of the war in Antwerp, in Belgium, in 1939.
Yes.
Do you remember do you know the date?
I was born, I was born on the 20th of June, 1939.
And your parents, where did they come from?
They came from Poland, from Galicia.
Both your mother and your father?
Yeah.
And where did they meet in?
In Belgium, in Antwerp.
And what did your profession, or what did your parents do?
They were in the diamond business.
From the very beginning?
My grandfather was in the diamond business, and he introduced my father in the diamond business.
And you came from...
My grandfather was in the diamond business in the very early stage, in 1910 already. He came also from Poland, but when he came from Amsterdam, and in Amsterdam he went into the diamond business, and then the diamond business moved from Amsterdam to Antwerp, and then from Scheveningen to Antwerp, and then he moved to Antwerp, and so he was in Antwerp. He was a well-known diamond man in the early days in Antwerp. My grandfather and my uncle were successful diamond people in Antwerp.
And did they come from a very religious background?
Yeah, from Poland, yes, of course. They were Hasidim, yeah. My father also came from a Hasidic background.
Do you know which type of Hasidut?
My father was from this Babev Hasidim, yeah. But he himself, he wasn't a Hasid, but he came from that strain of Hasidut. He belonged to the Mizrahi community.
And
he was the chairman of the Mizrahi after World War in Antwerp.
And can I just ask, Sylvain, did you have any siblings, any brothers or sisters?
Yeah, we were 5.
And what number were you?
I was the youngest.
You were the youngest?
Yeah.
And what made your parents decide to leave? Because you left Belgium.
We left in early. My father felt that he didn't trust anything about the Germans. He felt that one has to run away from the Germans. He left in 40 to France, and from France we ran into the Vichy France, and from the Vichy France we ran away to Mexico.
And when you went to France, how old were you?
10 months old.
10 months old. So we have a picture of your parents.
Yeah. I have got also a picture when I was in France as a 2-year baby.
How long did you stay in France?
2 years.
2 years. And you were in hiding, or did you have...
No, it was Vichy France. Vichy France is when before there were two
It was
parts
divided.
it was divided. The Paris was open, but we left. It was controlled by the Nazis, but the south, like Marseille,
It was more independent.
that was independent, was by the independents until the middle of 42, and then we ran away. My brother wrote the whole picture in this what happened during those years. If you want to know.
It's amazing. And
He was already 15. He was the oldest of the family.
And it wasn't that easy to pick up and just run to a new country.
They were refugees during those 2 years.
And in 42, when it became more dangerous,
They bribed the Mexican consul to get a permit. But when we arrived in Mexico, they were going to send us back. But because the entry visa was no longer valid, but my father stood and didn't agree to that, and he contacted the people of the community, and the community settled it with bribing the entry people, and they let us in.
So can I ask, do you have any recollections or any memories?
No, I don't.
You were too young, you were too small.
I was 2 years old. I don't have any collections.
And what happened to the rest of your family, your parents, their families?
Most of them didn't survive the war. I mean, some of them did. You've met my cousin.
Yeah.
He was in hiding. And some of them were in hiding in France. In France, there were my cousin of my mother's side, my uncle, my two uncles from my mother's side were in France. They managed to hide in France. So those that didn't hide properly were taken away.
And did you ever ask your father what made him decide to leave? Because many people thought...
He didn't trust the Germans. He says we had to run away. In fact, he told me that my uncle that stayed in Antwerp when he was 2 years in Marseille kept on writing to him, why don't you come back to Antwerp? And he says, well, you don't have any parnassa in Marseille.
There's no living.
Back.
How did your father make a living? It must have also been very difficult.
No, it's a good question. I still don't know.
And your mother was very supportive?
Yeah, she was supportive. She was with 5 small children.
It couldn't be easy.
But my father was terrific. You know, at one time, they were trying to catch people, older people, at the end of the story, to send them to work in the East, which you know what it means.
That was to the death camps, to Treblinka and Auschwitz.
Yeah. And my father wanted to run away to Spain with my oldest brother because he was already at 16. He was older. They said that also people above 16 would be also taken to work. But then he came till the border, and so he thought he'll go to the border and he'll go to Spain, he'll get an entry visa for my mother and the whole family. But then somebody said, no, it's not so easy to get entry visas to Spain. So then he came back, and then he tried to get an entry to Mexico. He managed to.
It's amazing because most of they didn't give out visas.
No.
They closed the embassies.
Yeah, but he managed. He was.
And also to get onto a ship at this time, it was very dangerous to cross the Atlantic.
Yeah, he managed. Yeah.
And how long did you stay in Mexico?
7 years.
7 years. And you remember, what are your early recollections being in Mexico?
Mexico, I went to school, a Jewish school. Yeah.
Were you in Mexico City? Or
Yeah, Mexico City.
And you spoke Spanish?
Yeah, I still speak Spanish.
And the family remained frum, they remained...
Yeah, it was a frum school, a religious school. It was a new school. There weren't very religious schools there. That was a new school that they established at the time.
And when the war ended, what happened to the family? Did part of the family remain in Mexico, or did they go back to?
No, that's when we went back.
As a whole family?
Only my father went back immediately because he couldn't make a proper living in Mexico. He went back to Europe in '46.
Did he go back to Antwerp?
Yeah.
And the house that you had, did it still remain, or?
Yeah, the house remained. They stole the things that we had there, but then replaced them. We replaced it.
And did you go back to your original house?
Yeah, we went back to the original.
And how old were you when you went back to Antwerp?
I was 9 or 10, 9.5, something like this. I went to 4th grade.
Do you remember the school?
Where, in Mexico?
In Antwerp?
Yeah, of course. I continued there for a few years.
What school did you go to?
Yes, the Torah. It's a Haredi school.
There was also Takamoni.
Yeah, the Takamoni. I didn't go to the Takamoni. I went to the Yesod Torah.
And which Kehillah did your parents belong to?
He was in Marsika, that's.
And was it difficult for the family to return to Antwerp?
No, because they knew Antwerp.
And a lot of the survivors came back to Antwerp.
Yeah.
And many were involved in the diamond trade in Antwerp after the war.
He came back to the diamond trade, my father.
And how long did you stay in Antwerp?
All his life.
And did you live in Antwerp many years as well?
Yeah. I lived in Antwerp. But then I went away. I studied in England, and then I worked. We had an office in the States, so I worked in that office in the States for a few years.
Was it in diamonds?
Yeah, in New York.
Wow.
And then I was here and we had also an office here. We were a large company, diamond.
And did you have any connections with South Africa?
No, No. With South Africa, we didn't have any connection.
Because there was a diamond also.
Oh, yeah, I know. But we had a connection with in Africa, but not in South Africa. We had a connection, we had an office in Accra and in the Congo, but not in South Africa.
And growing up in Antwerp after the war, did your parents, were most of their friends also survivors or people that they knew from before the war? Did they?
There were some that they knew from before the war, not many. Most of them that came back from new ones.
And did your parents discuss with you about the Shoah, or when did you first hear about what had happened in Europe and the horrendous, harrowing, what happened to our people, that so many were killed?
The most I heard when I went on a visit to the States at the age of 20 or 22, when I stayed in New York. I went on a visit and I stayed with one of my cousins that were in concentration camps in Poland. And I stayed with them, and they told me about their experiences in the concentration camps.
But before that you hadn't heard?
No, before that I knew everything.
But did people speak a lot, or
what?
Did families speak a lot about the experiences?
They were. I didn't. I mean, obviously there were children in my class that were hidden during the war, that knew about the war. They knew they hadn't been in concentration camps, but that had been really in concentration camps in Poland. I hadn't met till I met my cousins that were really in concentration camps only at the age of 20. There were people like this, but there were much older people that I didn't have personal contact with them.
And
such a close contact that were my cousins like this, that think they were strangers, that I didn't have close contact with them. I knew them, but to say hello and think, but not thing. Only this cousin of mine that I stayed with him, and I saw in the morning and the evening, and I spoke with him then, and I was also older that I could discuss with him, so that he told me more things.
And in your class, where you had some children that were hidden in monasteries and convents, did they speak about the experiences?
Yeah, they spoke about the experiences. They told me about their experience.
And your own cousin, she has the same name.
Yeah, my cousin, but
he's older.
He's older, and he's older, and he was away a long time because when I came back, they left to Brazil, and I didn't meet him all that much.
And here we have another picture. If you can explain.
I'll put it there. Okay.
This is a very special picture. So then if you can mention who is in the picture. of your family?
In the picture there is all the 5 children, my parents and all the 5 children.
And where are you in the picture?
I'm here.
You're the one. Oh, this is. And where did your siblings? Where did they live for most of their life?
Most of their lives. The oldest one lived in the States. He is a medical doctor. He passed away about a month ago.
Oh yeah, a month ago. I'm sorry to hear.
He was 98.
And your other siblings?
The other siblings, he lived at the end of his life in Israel. He is the one who was responsible for the project in Kiryat Sefer.
Where the Miri Shiva is?
Yeah.
This is the...
This is this one, with the head. And this is Harry Brachfeld, you said that you met.
Harry's in Jerusalem.
And this is my sister that she passed away a few years ago, 6 years ago. So that's
amazing. So Sylvain, you come from a very, very distinguished family.
Thank you.
So I just want to thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you. Yeah. So this is amazing where was this picture taken?
It was taken in Antwerp.
In Antwerp. It's beautiful memories. Okay. And you remained a close family?
Yeah. Yeah.
So can I ask, what message do you give to your children and grandchildren and to future generations?
The message I give is that they should come and live in Israel, and they're all living in Israel. I've got 6 children and 25 grandchildren, and they are all living in Israel. They should continue to live in Israel.
It's wonderful. So I just want to wish you Mazel and Bracha and May V'Esrim, and thank you so much. And I'm so appreciative, and really, I'm very grateful to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
And you give our regards to Gigit, that I have known from childhood, and to all the people that we know together.
Thank you so much.